Hi, thank you for joining me today. There's so many people in the world that we can learn from, and I'd like to share with you a few things that we can learn from Fred Dibnah, a man that found his natural career as a steeplejack and passion for steam engines that brought him much happiness and a fulfilling life. And it's his example of not chasing after money and instead being a free spirit and attaining mastery in the things that he was most passionate about. And by doing this and finding an understanding wife, all of us can live a happy and fulfilling life. Here we go.
You'll never be a rich man climbing chimneys, you know, there's no doubt about it. Better off owning a corner shop. I don't count money, you know, I sort of spend it when it comes, you know what I mean? I might be dead tomorrow, you know, like Alison can have out she wants, and if I want to spend like 400 quid on my steam engine, you know, I spend it, you know, when it comes, and at least the steam engine's better than money, you see. It's like people have paintings and other people buy fancy motor cars that rot away, you know, like my steamroller is it. Basically, I'm still like a Victorian, this feministic sort of outlook, you know, I don't think you can really escape from it, but the Victorians, really, I mean, there were more of them sort of working for a living, weren't there then, than what there is now, and the ladies' place were to be at home, you know, getting the tea ready at tea time. And all, and like now when there's half at buggers come home now and they have to get their own teas, don't they? You know, these, I'm just come home from the office, darling, you know, cook your teas in the oven, I'm going out to the, you know, to the bingo or something like that. You know, it's a weird situation now, you know. It's a bit, I don't know, a bit like the end of the Roman Empire, innit? You know, like they all either turned homosexual and went queer and went into a great nation of pleasure seeking after they retracted back to Rome from all over the world. You know.
Even if some of them did end in disaster.
I'm going to attempt to sit on top of it and see what happens. Here we go. How's that?
Fred's you.
It had fascinated me for, you know, all through my childhood. How the hell does one little man get all that up to the top of a 200-foot factory chimney and fix it all up? And, you know, like, if you went to talk to most of them, they couldn't really explain in, you know, language I understood how you did it, because I don't think they really knew themselves, you know. They'd just left school and been shown, you know, the way to do it, and they battered at it in a wild sort of a fashion. And life went by, and one day I met the man who sort of had been a draftsman, and he'd only ended up in this crazy job through his father-in-law were a bit stuck, who were a steeplejack, and he'd gone help him out, and he were like a bit of a cut above the rest with the grey matter, and he explained to me with a piece of chalk on the cobblestones in a mill yard in Bolton how you put the ladders up and how you put the staging up round the top of a chimney. Wonderful sensation is to turn round and put your back to the wall, and so your vision's straight out and you appear to be just suspended in air, you know, 200 feet up off the floor. And you're like, as though you're just hanging off somewhere up in heaven, you know, in the clouds, which is nice because you can sit there and have a smoke and sort of look about, you know, and survey the land. You know, I think about what I'm going to do with my engine at home tonight and what big problem can we solve. You know, I've solved a lot of problems sitting on tops of factory chimneys. When we did that firebox over there, I went in local ironworks and said to my man, like, you know, have you any reviters left? And he said, all the good reviters are dead. So I said, well, have you not got any not so bad that are retired, you see? And he said, ah, yeah. And he gave me names and addresses of 2 people. And I went seeing them, like, and one of them, like, he were a bit, you know, getting on a bit, captain full strength man, you see. And he came down here, you know, just about, and sort of learned me, you know, a bit about the job. So that's how we ended up with all nice, beautiful stairs on that other one. In the very olden days, you know, like these fellas who wanted to do something for the glory of God, you know, like stuck up a bloody great church spire. Majority of them round where we live, you know, 1870 odd and 1880s and round about that Victorian era. Most of them were erected by colliery owners and mill owners, and I think they built them to pave the way into heaven. You know, they weren't all bad men, but they lived on other people's misery, didn't they? You know, everybody working hard, you know, digging bloody coal in a slit underground. When I'm bored, I go drinking. And I think Alison thinks, like, it'll keep me out of the pub, which it will, you know. Once I've got my teeth into it, it's no use going down the pub boozing because you never get bloody job done, you know. It'll never be done. You know, you think, oh, I'll go for a pint and get with the lads and, oh, sod the bloody holes. Who the hell wants to go back working a ratchet drill, drilling 50 holes through inch-thick bloody iron, you know? Mind you, when you have had a pint or two, it takes the pain out of it, you know, it's not as hard. You know, if you get all tolls marked out right first when you're sober, you know, and then, you know, I think really a lot of the, well, there were a lot of that went on in the olden days when the work were really hard and strenuous, you know. We've got 2 prams already. I only live in a very small house and they're getting me road now, you know.
We're having no more to need another pram.
There's no more room. Yeah. No more room.
More traction. More traction.
Yeah. Traction engines are good things, they don't answer back, you know. You can hit them with the hammer, you see. And they don't send out, you know.
How much time do you spend on your traction engine?
Oh.
Well, his breakfast with it, his dinner with it, his tea with it, and then back out.
I can't be out there all day and night, you know. Sort of
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, you know, hammering away. Very understanding neighbours, you say. They never complain.
Very understanding wife as well.
Really, I get most of my pleasure out of working. It's nice to see the kids all happy, you know. But when I was little, you know, I never liked going away, you know. I used to have little tantrums and they used to throw me on the coach, you know, like for Blackpool, which I never liked. Perhaps that's why I don't like it now, you know. It was done to me when I was quite small, you see, the damage. Like, Alison seized on the idea, you see, of coming to Blackpool, and I don't really suppose you bargain for this kind of an holiday, pulling ladders up a chimney in the pouring rain. She's pretty good at it, you know. She has a bit of trouble tying the knots, but, well, one day, some years ago, like, she actually helped me to unladder a 200-footer, you know. She volunteered for it, you know, to take the rough with the smooth on this job, like. And today's bloody rough. Then the other epic thing we did about climbing chimneys, you know, I was criticised for saying, you know, I had a few pints before I climbed up. But, you know, I'd like to say that, sort of, you want to try this bloody job sober, you know. Yeah, if I've had a couple of pints of beer, you know, I don't, you know, think I'm King Kong, like, sort of thing. You know, take it that little bit easier, you know, and more cautious. The thing is that once you've got up that first bloody ladder, you've only got to make one wrong move and you're dead. You know, I mean, them boards, there's great gaps in them, you know. I mean, you could put 1 foot through a space and not even fall off, but smash your bloody leg in 2 pieces and then you'd feel a bit of a fool. Well, fire brigade's no good because the ladder's not long enough. Somebody would have to come and rescue you with an helicopter, you know, which... This contraption I sort of invented myself purely through watching the steeplejacks of like 1940 and 50. One famous firm from Manchester would arrive and just commandeer a skip out the mill and put 4 ropes, one on each corner, and like they'd literally pull the damn thing up by hand and put as many bricks in as they thought were sort of necessary and then lower it down, you know. And then I saw an improvement on that, 2 milk churns on a similar sort of setup that we've got here. But you've still got to lower the one down, sort of just let it come down at 2 miles an hour, which it like 5 minutes for the bloody thing to get from the top to the bottom. And one day it dawned on me that if you had a brake drum on the haulage system somewhere, you could like control the thing yourself. Mine, the brake's on all the time. And when the can's full of bricks, which amounts to about 100 weight, I just lift up the lever and down it goes and the empty and comes up, you see. And then Donald down at the bottom knocks the catch and out come the bricks, and as long as we can keep it going all day like, we're in business.